Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shalom. Welcome to the temple. We begin our service as we sing together in Neima Tov Umanaim, how good and how pleasant it is to be here together and welcome Shabbat together.
גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי, לה 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 לי, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי, לה 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 לי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, יאללה לי, לה 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 לי, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים. אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
And we turn to the handouts that are next to the door. Please join me as we say together a prayer for the people of Israel. Our parent in heaven and on earth, Rock of Israel and its Redeemer, bless the land of Israel and with it the state of Israel, so that the state of Israel may become the beginning of the flowering of our redemption. Shield her with your embrace of love and spread over her your sukkah, shelter of peace, and send your light and your righteousness to her leaders, ministers, advisors, and to the ones that elect them, and to her judges, may be stalwart to bring justice and strengthen the voice of those who support democracy. Align them all with the divine spirit of justice. As it says, Zion through justice will be redeemed, and her captive through righteousness. Rescue all who dwell from the Jordan River to the sea, from blood spilling, all residing and sojourning there, under every government, from haters from outside and haters within. Grant peace and abundance and healing throughout the land, and rescue calm to her defenders, a lasting joy to all her inhabitants, and real hope for all her peoples. And let us say, Amen. We turn now to page 2 for the blessing for the candles and the fruit of the vine. I would like to invite Kate and Vera Gross to lead us with the blessing over the candles and the fruit of the vine.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei
turn now to page 20 to welcome the Sabbath bride as we sing together Lecha Dodi. As we turn to page 28 for the Berlow. Together on the bottom of page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the times and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Aravim. And we turn to page 34 for the calling of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated as we read together on page 36, the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha vehayu adevarim haele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise.
We turn now to page 40 to sing together Mi Chamocha, the same song our ancestors sang as they were crossing the Sea of Reeds.
מי כמוך, אלים אדוני, מי כמוך, נהדר בקודש, נורות יהירות, עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, הוקיע ים לפני משה, זיל ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימוך לעולם ועד.
We turn to page 43 and we read together on the bottom of page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch ata Adonai, הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
ישמחו במלכותך, שמרי שמרי שישי שבת כולם ישמעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת ישמחו במלכותך שמרי 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 שבת וגורם עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שמרי 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 שבת וגורם עונג שבת והשביר רצית בו וקידשת שבת חילות ימים אותו קראת שבת ישמחו במלכותך שמרי 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 שבת וגורם עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שמרי 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 שבת וגורם עונג שבת למעשה וראשית שבת למעשה וראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שמרי 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 שבת וגורם עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שמרי 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 שבת וגורם עונג שבת.
We rise for the tefillah on page 46.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, God of our fathers and mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, the great, mighty, and awesome God, transcendent God, who bestows loving kindness, creates everything out of love, remembers the love of our fathers and mothers, and brings redemption to their children's children for the sake of the divine name. Sovereign deliverer, helper, and shield, blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, Abraham's shield. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. And we read together at the bottom of page 50. You are forever mighty, Adonai, you give life to all. You cause the wind to shift and rain to fall. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the falling, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, the sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up, and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated as we turn to page 61 to read together the blessing for peace, for shalom. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Atu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom.
Take a moment for a silent prayer. We turn to page 253. For the Misha Berach, the prayer for healing and courage and strength. We name in our hearts those we know that need courage and healing and strength as we sing together the Misha Berach.
Take the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Reverend Dr. Heather Ann Thiessen is, in her own words, a happily married, Bible-reading, Presbyterian church-going, small fuel-efficient car driving, still pretty much second-wave feminist, and generally out white lesbian Hoosier mother and grandmother. And she wants everybody to ask to see photos of her new grandson. According to one of her professors, this makes her too theologically conservative and too socially liberal. She's a former adjunct instructor in religious studies at Spalding University and currently serves several small Presbyterian churches in southern Indiana. It's an honor to have you here, and please.
Thank you all. I need to thank Rabbi David and members of the congregation Adat Israel Brit Shalom for inviting me to speak at this Interfaith Shabbat, because that invitation was a great honor to receive and a great pleasure to accept, and not least because I hoped it would be a way to begin to say thank you for the scholars of the Saturday morning Torah study group who have so generously welcomed me since COVID on Zoom. So I really have appreciated it. It's wonderful to meet people in person here this evening. I'm going to say something about the Torah portion, and so we haven't read the Torah portion, and hopefully people will know that we're in Parasha Terumah, about which a striking feature is that it's so minutely detailed. People know, right? There are 3 chapters of just, it's something we don't expect from the Torah, which is usually so parsimonious when it comes to describing things. And meaning no disrespect, the contents of Parsha Terumah read like one of those sheets of instructions that come with, bookshelves from IKEA. For instance, with a list of all the parts and their dimensions and how many of each kind of bolt we need, and the parentheses and diagrams of each step showing how the pieces all fit together. But when we recall that the explicit point of receiving the offering of building materials in the first place, which begins that portion, is to make a sanctuary so that God may dwell among the people of Israel. The details shouldn't surprise us, because anything material enough to accommodate people in our materiality will have to be that specific. So what fascinates me about this text is how emphatically it reminds us that the sanctuary is a material object. Of course, we know that there's profound spiritual symbolism encoded in those details too. The tabernacle is a microcosm of the creation, or it's a metaphor for the human body, or I looked this all up. But it's, all that's particularly significant, but we know we're meant to think of the sanctuary as a sacred spiritual place, but the emphasis on the text in this point is definitely on its materiality, which feels wonderful to me because materiality is something people are inclined to forget, or more precisely to ignore, the minute we start talking about religion. In fact, the way we often use the terms religions and faiths interchangeably is an example of this. Our default is to think of religions as essentially immaterial realities, beliefs, that take place exclusively on the inside, within our human minds and hearts and souls, or spirits, or whatever we want to call that. And one of the harder things about teaching world religions to college students, which I have done some, is to shake that assumption and get students to open their eyes and see the religions are full of stuff walls and ceilings and doors and furniture and books and lights and clothes and food and drink. And it goes for all the religions, which is why the venerable theorist Ninian Smart did finally identify the material as one of his 7 or maybe 9, depending on which textbook you're reading, defining dimensions of religion, because we human beings are material inescapably. Whatever we do, even at our most cerebral or spiritual, we do in and from our bodies. So our concrete material existence is a presupposition, it's a condition for our religious experience. So of course the sanctuary can't be less material than the people it's designed to accommodate. And then precisely by being that, it can be set apart as specifically, particularly a space for welcoming the arrival of, the dwelling of, or the divine, or what maybe to use a more universal or neutral term, the infinite. So this could give us a general working definition of a sanctuary, a finitely bounded material structure that is open to the presence of the infinite. That's a definition that would resonate with the sages and saints and the bodhisattvas and shamans, because we will find structures like that in all the world's religions, from minimalist circles of sacred pollen on the ground or massive circles of stone plinths to much more architecturally elaborate structures, but all of them material locations designed for hospitality to the infinity beyond that materiality. Well, when we notice that basic structural property of a sanctuary, that finite materiality that's open to the infinite, we'll quickly notice that human beings themselves have the structure of sanctuaries. That's so obvious, in fact, that it's been noticed over and over in the history of the world's religions. People themselves are finite, concrete, material presences that are open to the divine, the infinite, the sacred. So our humanity, we might say our interiority, is a property of human life that's then explored in lots of detail, lots of ways in the world's religious traditions. There are traditions of prayer and worship, of contemplation and meditation. This special structure of humanity is one of the things people of faith agree on already by being people of faith, which is probably why we think of religions as such immaterial, interior kinds of realities. But there's something vital about acknowledging that material side of the reality, because again, the sanctuary character of the human being is not pure spirit, independent of this finite embodiment. We're able to experience an awareness of contact with or nearness to the infinite precisely because of our equally intimate knowledge of what's not infinite, of the finite, and precisely because of our groundedness in the material world of shapes and colors and forms, the specific beauties that can take place within the world of defined space. It's those material limits that make certain kinds of experiences or effects possible, such as, for instance, the glory of the Holy God filling the space of the sanctuary, which really depends on that sanctuary's being a bounded space that's capable of being filled. That's just to mention an event that comes up in the text a few chapters later. I don't know which Torah portion it is, but it's coming. That I count on more than a few people here knowing that, because people have read ahead. And it brings us to something else that has this structure of a sanctuary, and that is sacred text. We sometimes forget to notice, even though this is constantly in front of us. It's in front of us. That all our sacred text, and again, this is true of every religious tradition that has sacred text, that's pretty much every religious tradition, is material. The media of the text, whether papyrus or vellum or clay tablets or slabs of stone, are all material. The marks of the alphabet or the characters have material form. For that matter, even oral texts depend on the physics of sound waves and phonemes. And the scholars at Script, the Society for Comparative Research on Iconic and Performative Texts, have worked very hard since the founding of the Society in 2010 to remind their colleagues in the academic world that sacred texts are material objects. They're decorated objects, they're displayed objects, revered objects, objects that are given special treatment when they die, which is to say, when they can no longer materially perform their ritual functions. And my point about that property of sacred texts, here in the context of thinking about what it means to be a sanctuary, is that sacred text too has that structure of finite material form that's open to the presence of the infinite. We can think of entering a sacred text as a particular case of entering a sanctuary, which we do, in fact. We think of sacred texts as places where people meet God, or if we're Hindu, as mantras that usher the self into the presence of the absolute, or if we're Mahayana Buddhists, as words that when we chant them, they disclose the open, spacious character of reality, just to name a few ways that people in different religious traditions practice engaging with sacred texts, which are open places in our material world where the light of infinity gets in. So with all that in mind, we might be able to think of one goal of interfaith relationship as recognizing these varied sanctuaries for what they are and honoring their sanctity, perhaps designing sanctuaries we can enter together, sanctuaries that are open to that infinite that's always more than we can contain in any single sanctuary or tradition or idiom, sanctuaries that make the material world we share yet more beautiful. Thank you.
Before we go down, there's something very material that we want to give you. That is also, well, I don't know if there's anything divine in it, but it's very Kentucky.
It could be open to that.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
That's from Kentucky to Indiana.
Yeah.
It's bourbon.
Well, then it definitely opens it. Definitely opens it.
Our anthem is
Let there be love, Hashkivenu.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Lishalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Lishalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Lishalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us.
Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
I want to thank Reverend Dr. Heather and Thiessen. It's very hard for an Israeli to pronounce a name that has a TH in it. I hope that I did not butcher the name. So thank you. It's always wonderful when we have on Interfaith Shabbat someone who brings a thought, an idea that is not familiar and yet so familiar. So thank you for that, for bringing something. I never thought about it in these terms. So you've taught me that, and I'm sure taught everyone here and everyone that is on the YouTube channel and other forms of watching us virtually. The Torah portion that you mentioned is Pikudei. It's the last Torah portion in Exodus, and it's chapter 40 where these events happen, and it's actually a perfect example to your point, because Moses, he's giving the most boring and detailed report, kind of audit of the building of the tabernacle, and it's about not only every detail that went into the building of the sanctuary, but also the cost of every detail. And then at the end, there's the most spiritual moment maybe in the entire Torah, that a spiritual moment that repeats itself in Kings, when Solomon builds the temple, and the same thing happens, that literally the presence of God fills the tabernacle, that limited space built by humanity, and people could see that the glory of Adonai, of God, is in there. So the most material Torah portion is becoming so spiritual, and through those material things. I never thought about it this way, so thank you very much for teaching us and making us think. We turn now to page 284 for the Aleinu. Please rise. We read together in the middle of page 283. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. As we turn to page 287, and we read together on the top of the page. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us
for the peace we bring to others.
May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat we remember especially David Sean Bailey, Paula Erdley, Jonathan Zaborski, Connie Allen, Gladys Bass, Tina Borshow-Novik, Judy Marks, Herbert Marks, Bernard Traeger, Alan Zukov, William Benovitz, Armand Essing, Carol Fink, Harriet Wiener, Charles Droutman, Melanie Lederman, Nathan Levin, Evelyn Van Dam, David Boss, Philip Cochran, Elma Hirsch, Ruth Shapiro, Alvin Greenfield, Deborah M. Herman, Herbert Levin, Herman Neiber, Terry Lasson, Minx Auerbach, David Davis, Florence Schenkin, Harry Ziegert, Lance Boguslavsky, Vi Boguslavsky, and in recent days, Patsy K. Paxton and Andrew Roberts. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories of our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Please join me. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קרי ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם ברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה. May the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. Our closing song is
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Salam, which you can find on page 377, I believe. Oh, actually, no. 353. Yes, at the bottom of 353. Sorry about that.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu
doing the song with saying Amen. It's a song that is in Arabic and in Hebrew. It came out about 30 years ago in Israel, and it says that may peace come on us and all the world. I mentioned, I think a week or two ago here, that the congregation I belong to in Jerusalem changed the words, that the shalom, salam will not come upon us, but we need to work for it. So instead of od yavo, they sing od navi, which means we will actually do the work, and hopefully we can continue to do whatever we can to create a better world, a world of salam, a world of shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone, and please say Shabbat shalom to someone you never met before. Shabbat shalom.